Above all, we must realize that no arsenal, or no weapon in the arsenals of the world, is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have.
We can't help everyone, but everyone can help someone.
You and I have a rendezvous with destiny. We'll preserve for our children this, the last best hope of man on earth, or we'll sentence them to take the last step into 1,000 years of darkness.
Peace is not absence of conflict, it is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means.
Government's first duty is to protect the people, not run their lives.
The time is now, my fellow Americans, to recapture our destiny, to take it into our own hands.
A people free to choose will always choose peace.
Freedom prospers when religion is vibrant, and the rule of law under God is acknowledged.
Government is like a baby. An alimentary canal with a big appetite at one end and no responsibility at the other.
I've noticed that everyone who is for abortion has already been born.
Thomas Jefferson once said, "We should never judge a president by his age, only by his works." And ever since he told me that, I stopped worrying.
Protecting the rights of even the least individual among us is basically the only excuse the government has for even existing.
Politics is supposed to be the second oldest profession. I have come to realize that it bears a very close resemblance to the first.
Surround yourself with the best people you can find, delegate authority, and don't interfere.
The most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government, and I'm here to help."
If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be one nation gone under.
Man is not free unless government is limited.
When you can't make them see the light, make them feel the heat.
Entrepreneurs and their small enterprises are responsible for almost all the economic growth in the United States.
All great change in America begins at the dinner table.
The struggle now going on for the world will never be decided by bombs or rockets, by armies or military might. The real crisis we face today is a spiritual one. At root, it is a test of moral will and faith.
Coercion, after all, merely captures man. Freedom captivates him.
One of the traditional methods of imposing statism or socialism on a people has been by way of medicine. It's very easy to disguise a medical program as a humanitarian project.
The best minds are not in government. If any were, business would steal them away.
Welfare's purpose should be to eliminate, as far as possible, the need for its own existence.
Live simply, love generously, care deeply, speak kindly, leave the rest to God.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on for them to do the same.
Don't be afraid to see what you see.
I know in my heart that man is good, that what is right will always eventually triumph, and there is purpose and worth to each and every life.
I've heard that hard work never killed anyone, but I say, why take the chance?
The greatest leader is not necessarily the one who does the greatest things. He is the one that gets the people to do the greatest things.
You can tell a lot about a fellow's character by his way of eating jelly beans.
If we love our country, we should also love our countrymen.
There are no great limits to growth, because there are no limits of human intelligence, imagination, and wonder.
There is no limit to the amount of good you can do, if you don't care who gets the credit.
Concentrated power has always been the enemy of liberty.
Some people spend an entire lifetime wondering if they made a difference in the world. But the Marines don't have that problem.
Sometimes when I'm faced with an atheist, I am tempted to invite him to the greatest gourmet dinner that one could ever serve, and when we have finished eating that magnificent dinner, to ask him if he believes there's a cook.
Government exists to protect us from each other. Where government has gone beyond its limits, is in deciding to protect us from ourselves.
My philosophy of life is that, if we make up our mind what we are going to make of our lives, then work hard toward that goal, we never lose, somehow we win out.
We must reject the idea that every time a law is broken, society is guilty rather than the lawbreaker. It is time to restore the American precept, that each individual is accountable for his actions.
A nation that cannot control its borders is not a nation.
Life is one grand, sweet song, so start the music.
Money can't buy happiness, but it will certainly get you a better class of memories.
We will always remember. We will always be proud. We will always be prepared, so we will always be free.
I now begin the journey that will lead me into the sunset of my life. I know that for America there will always be a bright dawn ahead.
Republicans believe every day is the 4th of July, but the Democrats believe every day is April 15th.
Within the covers of the Bible are the answers for all the problems men face.
We don't have $1 trillion debt because we haven't taxed enough. We have $1 trillion debt because we spend too much.
There are no easy answers, but there are simple answers. We must have the courage to do what we know is morally right.
I've always believed that a lot of the trouble in the world would disappear if we were talking to each other instead of about each other.
Never let the things you can't do stop you from doing what you can.
Heroes may not be braver than anyone else. They're just braver 5 minutes longer.
Recession is when your neighbor loses his job. Depression is when you lose yours. And recovery is when Jimmy Carter loses his.
Freedom is the right to question and change the established way of doing things.
The federal government did not create the states created the federal government.
I used to say that politics was the second oldest profession. I have come to know that it bears a gross similarity to the first.